Woo! It's RBB. I'm going to try and do a quick one because I've got somewhere to go. And I'm like, I'm going to get one more knocked out here. I want to talk to you today about Booleans. And this can be a very complex subject, but I want to at least talk about what it is. We might do a more complex one later. So Boolean in general is if something is like a Boolean switch, it's either on or off, yes or no, black or white, and it's a Boolean switch. But in 3D modeling, when we have a Boolean, it's when one object is affecting another object. They're like working together to make another shape. So for example, if I take this cylinder and I put it in the middle of this cubey guy here, okay, and I want to combine these. I either want to make them one object, right? So it's like a big cube with this pole sticking out of it. Or I'd like to use this pole to cut a hole through this. Whatever. I want to use these tools, these two shapes to interact with each other. And to do that, we would use what are called the Boolean tool. Let me get rid of this. So that's a Boolean. Let me get rid of this. Excuse me. Okay, so trying to keep this quick. So what happens is you have A and B, right? Or A and B, whichever order you choose. And it's the effector and the effectee, right? The cause and the effect. So if I grab this guy as A and then shift select and grab this guy as B, and we use the Boolean tool, to get to the Boolean tool a little bit quicker, I'm going to do my little trick of shift and right click, and then Boolean is down here, and I see all of my options. You can, of course, also go to, yes, under mesh and Booleans, and you see that they're here. Now, what I can also do is I can rip this off. Okay, I can rip this tab off. Whoops. Whoop. There we go. I already did it. Give it to me. So I can rip this tab off, and you can see that tool. So these are our Boolean options, A and B. The union of these two, if I looked at this in X-ray form, all right, this is a solid object, and this is a solid object, and this solid object exists going through the middle of this guy, okay? But if I do union with these two, it doesn't look like anything changed, except for you'll notice that we got a new edge loop right here. And if we look at the X-ray, this part in the middle is now gone. So this object is a cube with these two nubbins sticking out of it. Okay? So that's kind of cool, right? That's kind of neat. There's a couple of things we need to remember to do when we have Booleans is because, now see there's like a ghost left there of the two original objects. Maya will let us go back. I can grab this original object. Watch this. This is super cool. I can grab this original object, right? And affect the result as long as this is still available, right? As long as this little ghost guy is available. But let's say I know I'm done. Like that's perfect. That's gorgeous. I don't want to change anything. These little tools right up here, this one looks like to me, it always looks like a fighter ship or something. This is center pivot. This is delete history, and this is freeze transformations. If I delete the history of this object, if I delete the history, I can no longer manipulate it. The little ghosts are gone, and now it's just forever stuck like that. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I'm going to step back a couple times, get back to this guy. Okay, so that's union. If I did difference, A minus B, it will take A and it will subtract B. Boop, boop. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, back it up, back it up. Okay, now we're back to two different shapes, A minus B. So it took A and it subtracted B, which was the big cube, and it split my guy in half right here. Now, some of you, if you're a little more advanced, may say, now, wait a minute, didn't you just make a 20-sided face? Yes, I did. And that's something we're not going to cover in this one. We'll do that in a Booleans part 2. I just want to show you what the Booleans do. Okay, and yes, you are correct. That is no bueno. Okay, let's step back. So now we've got our two objects, A and B. Now, if we do difference B minus A, whoop, it took B and it subtracted A. Okay, so it took the cylinder and cut it out of the cube, and notice it closed in that hole for us. Okay, and if we wanted to, we could freeze transformations and it would be stuck like that forever. If we step backwards and we go to intersection, guess what that's going to do? It's going to take where these two are both combined. So it's going to keep this inner cylinder. Watch. So only where they're both included did it keep an intersection and closed off, close it into a final shape. That's kind of cool. Excuse me. Slice. Now, slice is a little different. What slice does is it uses B to make new edges on A. This might be a little bit confusing. What's cool about it is if I were to grab these faces now, and let's say I just pull this face out, see how there's actually still geometry? It's not extruding, but it's still acting like it acted like it extruded. Does that make sense? Okay, it like allows me to pull this shape out, pull the shape apart like that. Okay, so that's kind of cool, right? And that's what slice does. It creates a new edge loop, and if I manipulate it, it creates it creates some geometry. Okay, sort of like sort of like an extrusion. All right, I'm going to step backwards. Okay, back to that guy. Hole punch is going to do similar to the A minus B, but notice that it's open. Okay, instead of having that 20-sided face and closing the shapes, hole punch cuts it out. Okay, and now if we step back, cut out is going to do the opposite. It's going to keep the center one, but it's going to be open, right? So it doesn't have the end tubes, but it took the intersection and left that open. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, and the last one, split edges. What that does is, I believe, I've actually really never used this. I believe this makes it, yes, okay. So this connected the geometry, whereas with slice, I could pull that face out with its own piece of geometry. Now this really basically acted like an edge loop. Okay, it used B to create an edge loop, and in split edges, it just made that new that new set of edges like a division. Okay, so that is a quick and dirty version of what the Boolean the Boolean functions do. Okay, if you accidentally do A and B and you do them separately or do them wrong or whatever, it's not a big deal, especially if you've got the tool right here ripped off. It exists in the modeling toolkit, but I have noticed that, if I'm correct, let me close this and see. I think in the modeling toolkit, when I say Boolean, it just does it a little bit differently. It brings up this whole, like, it's a little more complex. And here are my choices. Like I could say, oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do intersection. Or, oh, no, I meant to do union. It just brings up, it creates a new tab, all right? A new node over here. Okay, so if you want to do it that way, that's fine too. Probably soon, if we do like an 8.5, that's going to be talking about how to do Booleans neater and, with less messy topology, because what we've got here is a failure to communicate, is a 20-sided face, and that's not the good. Okay, but for right now, we now know what all the Booleans do. So have fun. Delete the history. You delete your history, boop, and now it's stuck that way. All right. I hope that was helpful. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.